Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to make a video on some of the reloading data and some of the reloading process I've gone through with this Ruger American 22 Creedmoor. This rifle's been shooting pretty spectacular for a factory rifle. I'm pretty happy with it. I have one load that I've worked up on this rifle that just shoots phenomenal, lights out. You know, it's gonna be pretty hard to beat and find something better. And that load is with the 77 grain TMKs from Sierra. This is a very, very good bullet. We use the 69 and the 22 arc. We've been really pleased with the performance of that bullet for coyote hunting, as well as accuracy. They're, like I said, a very, very well-built bullet. I'm going to go over some of the components for this load that I used. This is just once fired 22 Creedmoor brass. My shooting range is from inside the shop here. I shoot out my window here. I got a nice clean, clear range. So I just pick this up off my concrete. I run it through a vibratory tumbler just to get any dirt, dust, anything that might have got on it. Get that off. I hit it with Hornady one-shot lube. I run it through the sizing die. And then what I do is I take it and I run it back to the vibratory tumbler just to get all the oil, grease, anything like that, fingerprint smudges off of it. And then I prime it. These I primed with the Federal 210Ms. I tried 3 different primers with this load, and these 210Ms just seemed to be the most consistent and gave me the best accuracy. I was gonna maybe work on some loads with some other primers, try to fine tune this to make a different primer work, but these ones shot so good that I don't see that the juice would be worth the squeeze. Again, the bullet is a 77 grain TMK, and the powder I settled on is a Creedmoor N560. I tried a couple different powders. I tried Ramshot Hunter. Ramshot Hunter gave me pretty well equal accuracy. Unfortunately, it was 300 feet per second slower. So this N560 has been very good. I've tried it kind of on both ends of the temperature scale. I got a fridge here in the shop. I loaded 2 3-round shots up, and I put them in the fridge for about 4 hours, and I shot them, and the accuracy really didn't change at all. The group didn't grow more than just standard deviation, I would say. So let's go over some of the specs. Again, once fired brass that I went through and I processed. It's Hornady brass, the 210 primers, the N560 powder. Now this N560 powder, the load I settled on is kind of the starting load from Sierra. It's 44.7 grains of the N560. Overall length, the overall length I settled for on this rifle is a 2.560. I believe Sierra might spell out a 2.550. I'm not real sure. I just kind of started at 20 thousandths off the lands, and I kind of moved it back and seen if it got any better, and it was pretty good at 2.560. Again, the feet per second on this load that I got out of this Ruger American is 3306, and for those asking, this rifle is somewhere around 250 rounds right now, so it is well broken. The velocity should not really go up after this. Shooting groups. I actually have my load development target here, and I don't know if you guys can see that. This is the Ramshot Hunter. Again, this is a really good group, but it's only about 3,000 feet per second. This group right here, this is the N560 at 3306, and it is my initial group that I shot with this. And again, I do not shoot this off a lead sled. I run a front bag and I shoulder the butt. Some days it shoots better than others doing it that way, but it gives me a real feel of how I'm shooting, because even in a lead sled you can still pull a trigger wrong or something like that. So it helps me be honest with how these groups are shooting. That day I was shooting very well. The best group I shot was that sight-in group. It was a .30 inch group at 100 yards. I went through the rest of my load development, and none of the other groups shot quite that good. It didn't grow much more than an inch, but it did not get any smaller than that. So I went ahead and I loaded 5 3-round 3-shot groups, and out of the 5 3-shot groups, the average group size was a .339. Now, again, for a factory rifle with a factory barrel, I'm just absolutely floored on the accuracy of this. This SD amongst those 15 shots was 9.9. Anytime you can get into a single digit SD, that is very, very good in my eyes. We're barely scraped into that single digit SD, but you know, I personally feel that SDs under, I would say 17 are acceptable if it shoots this good. Again, if you get into the single digits, that just means it's that much more accurate. I believe this was all shot at room temperature here. I got my air conditioning in the shop set at 72, so it was about 72 degrees. Again, I put 6 rounds in the fridge to let them cool down. My fridge temp is 37 degrees, 36 degrees, something like that, to kind of give me a real world, typical coyote hunting night, say in like the spring. And my velocity was 3,300 even. So I only lost 6 feet per second. Again, this is not a temperature stable powder. I could go to an N560, which is supposed to be more temperature stable. But again, this shoots so good, I don't see that the juice is worth the squeeze to work out some of these little things. Again, I could work up a different load potentially with a primer that's a little bit more readily available in my area than these 210Ms. You know, I could work it up with something like a Winchester primer. But again, these shoot so well that if I can get my hands on these primers, there's no point in trying to figure out a different component. So yeah, that's kind of an overview of this load. Again, I'm very happy with it. The Sierra bullets for me has been shooting very well out of all the calibers that I load. You know, I have a few more Sierra bullet combinations that are going to be coming up with some loading data, and I'm pretty excited about that. But again, for a factory 22 Creedmoor that doesn't break the bank, again, this is a $600 gun. I'm very pleased with how it turned out, and I didn't have a whole lot of time in load development in this 77 TMK. Again, I ran 3 loads with RS Hunter, and then I ran 5 loads with N560, and I just happened to find the one that shoots really well out of this rifle. And talking to a couple other guys that have these already, and they're finding that this combination is the best combination that they have out of their rifle at the speeds that we're getting. So if you guys have one of these and you're into reloading, go out and pick you up some 77 grain TMKs and some 560, some 210M Federal primers, and give it a try. I think that you guys will be pretty satisfied with the accuracy of it. It's pretty good. And again, I am shooting this suppressed. I guess I didn't go over that. I am shooting this through a suppressor. All my testing with this suppressor on this rifle, it did not make a difference, suppressor on and off. I didn't test these with the suppressor off because this is a low development for thermal hunting, and I'm always going to have a suppressor on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I got a lot more videos in the works right now. A lot of them are like this, reloading overviews. I got a few videos that I'm going to go through some of the reloading process and kind of go through exactly how I do some things. I don't do things different than anybody else, but guys are getting into reloading. My reloading process is very simple. I don't overcomplicate anything, and I have very good results from it. So we'll see you guys on the next videos, and keep following along.